my voice is audible? Everyone is able to hear me?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you. So in the last class, we were discussing from the chapters wherein Daksha and Narada Muni's conversation was going on, and wherein Narada Muni delivered the 10,000 sons of Daksha as well as the 1,000 sons of Daksha, who were known as Haryashvas and Savalashvas, who are actually already on the transcendental platform, who are ready to go back home back to Godhead. But Daksha wanted to continue in this material world for a long time to do the service of procreating children and begetting children and populating the entire universe. So Narada thought that why there is a chance in Karma Yoga that it can bind anybody anytime. So why these people were already completely renunciant, they should go back to Godhead. So with that intention, Narada Muni spoke to them in a special way, understanding that they went to practice severe austerities and go back to Godhead in the forest itself. They never returned home. Daksha feeling very bad, very sorry for what is happening. So then Narada Muni visits Daksha, hoping that Daksha might be very angry and he will curse me. He will become angry with me. He will criticize me. He will curse me. Then he will become, then I will not say anything. Then Daksha will feel sorry that I have cursed an saintly person. So then I will teach Daksha Bhakti, teach the glorious position of Bhakti. Thinking like that, Narada Muni comes to Daksha. But first of all, looking at Narada Muni, Daksha becomes very much angry and speaks to Narada Muni, criticizes Narada Muni. So that is being indicated in this section. Having followed the correct path favorable for it, attaining the Lord, which gives internal realization, they have not returned even till today, just as night after passing does not return. At this time, Daksha, observing many disturbances, heard about the loss of his sons caused by Narada, who had done the same before. So now Narada Muni comes to Daksha. Chukroda Naradayaso. We will recite together, otherwise, there not many devotees are there who will repeat. Chukroda Naradayaso. Putra Shoka Vimurchita. Devarshim Upalabhyaha. Roshad Vispuritadara. Someone read the translation.
When he heard that the Savalaswas had also left this world to engage in devotional service, Daksha was angry at Narada and he almost fainted due to lamentation. When Daksha met Narada, Daksha's lips began trembling in anger and he spoke as follows.
Daksha, fainting from lamentation, became very angry at Narada. When Daksha met Narada, Daksha with trembling lips spoke as follows. Why Daksha and Narada met each other? So same thing just I mentioned. Narada considered as follows. The dynasty of Swayambhu Manu, Priyavrata, Uttanapada, Dhruva, and others all attained the Lord by my efforts. Prachina Barhi also, though involved in karma, was delivered. His sons, the 10 Prachetas, and his grandsons, the Haryashvas and the 1,000 Savalashvas, were also delivered. How is it that only Daksha remains playing in the blind hole of usual life, in the karma? I will deliver him also. Hearing that his sons have renounced, lamenting Daksha now remains in his house with detachment. Now it is a suitable time to give him mercy. If he does not come to me, I will go to his house. For this reason, Narada went to see Daksha. He was thinking that now he must have developed some renunciation. It is the right time to speak to him, hoping that Narada came to see Daksha. So as soon as Daksha saw Narada, Daksha became very angry. Out of that anger, he begins to speak very harsh words towards Narada. So now 4-5 verses all talk about Daksha's criticism of Narada Muni. Sri Daksha Uvacha Aho Asadu Sadunam Sadulingena Nastvaya Asadu Akari Arbakanam Vikshor Marga Pradarshitaha. Yeah, please read the translation.
Prajapati Daksha said, Alas, Narad Muni, you wear the dress of a saintly person, but you are not actually a saint. Indeed, although I am now in Grihastha life, I am a saintly person. By showing my sons the path of renunciation, you have done me an abominable injustice. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, this is 6536. The screen is showing 6436.
Yeah, there was some mistake. You ignore that. Don't see that. Later on, I'll correct it. Forget it. Just follow the shloka. Thank you. Oh, imposter, you have acted improperly among us, saintly persons, while disguising yourself as saintly. You have shown my sons the path of renunciation. So Daksha is telling that, Aho asadu sadhunam, you are actually asadu among all sadhus. Sadhulingesan astvaya. Though externally you are appearing like a sadhu, but you are not sadhu. How? Because you have done asadu akari arbakanam bhikshor. You have done akarya, which is not supposed to be done. You have done that. What is that? Arbakanam, you are made innocent as the bhikshur, as the renunciate, as the sannyasis. This you should not do. By wearing the dress of a saintly person, you are causing great deception. We are saintly. Plural case is used out of pride. Daksha is saying that na sadhu, na tvaya. We are sadhus, but not tvaya, not you. So when he says we, actually himself is saying, but in a plural sense. I am saintly. You have produced great misfortune for me, who would never show such hatred to you, even in dreams. Your great offense has become visible now, after some time. Oh Narada, all saintly, we are trying to follow the will of the Supreme Lord, and you are coming in our path and causing so much disturbance. Externally, you are wearing the dress of a sadhu, but you are not acting like a sadhu. What is this? You are actually a sadhu, and you are causing so much disturbance, injustice. What injustice did you do? You with envy, not tolerating the happiness of household life, have shown the path of the beggars to my small children, Arbakan. They are like children, innocent, and they accepted the teachings of a cheater like you. You have made them small kids sannyasis. What is this? They have not seen the end of life. How can they become sannyasis immediately? Another meaning can be given to this verse. So Mother Saraswati gives another meaning to these words spoken by Daksha. Oh Narada, to whom no one can be compared as a saint. There is no one with such a marks as a saint like you. You have shown the path of saintly to my sons. This double meaning can be taken in verses following as well. So next two verses spoken by Daksha also can be seen with the secondary meaning also. But for the past time, we will see the primary meaning so that the flow will be proper. So like that, step by step, he actually slowly builds up how what Daksha is doing is actually correct, what Narada is doing is actually wrong. Because Narada is not being a renunciate, not happy to see the happiness of the householders. That's why he's trying to make the princesses who are supposed to become the householders prematurely sannyasis. That's why Daksha is expressing. So then how? So what is the problem if they become sannyasis prematurely or immediately, quickly? What is the problem? Why they should not become even one day in the future also they have to become sannyasis? What is the problem if they become now? Daksha now tells what is the problem. Runaistribir amuktanam amimamsita karmanam vighata shreyasa papa lokayorubayo kruta. Yeah, someone read the translation.
Prajapati Daksha said, "My sons were not at all freed from their three debts. Indeed, they did not properly consider their obligations. O Narad Muni, O personality of sinful action, you have obstructed their progress towards good fortune in this world and the next, because they are still indebted to the saintly persons, the demigods, and their father."
My sons were not at all freed from their three debts. They did not properly consider their obligations. O sinful Narada, you have obstructed their progress towards good fortune in this world and in the next. Because my children, my sons have not fulfilled their debts. Prematurely, you have given them sannyas, thus they will remain in between only. They can neither attain perfection nor they can come back. They will be like in a situation like Trishanku Swarga, something like that. That's why Daksha is telling this. Because Daksha is the teacher of Karma Yoga. He wants to see that everyone should follow perfectly and properly. So the principles of Karma Yoga, the sadhana of Karma Yoga says that one need to execute all one's duties systematically in order, proper order. By taking to renunciation, it is possible to cross over samsara. But renunciation is not suitable for persons in household life to follow. Shruti says. The Brahmana has three debts by birth. By brahmacharya, one repays the sages. By sacrifice, one repays the devatas. And by producing children, one repays the pitrus. Rishiruna, Devaruna, and Pitruna. He who has sons performs sacrifice and observes brahmachari life has no debts. So basically, those who are after birth, after going through all the samskaras, who goes to Gurukula, studies and comes home, gets married and begets children, and also performs an yajna, has fulfilled all one's duties. Then he can take sannyas. Before that, one cannot take sannyas. So this is the principle of Vasishta Dharma Shastra. Dharma Shastras are talking about this. My sons did not repay their debts and did not consider their karmas. They are not free from debts to the sages yet. They have not even gone to Gurukula and studied the Shastra. They have not even repaid their debt to the sages. Then what to speak of repaying to the Devatas and Pitrus? Because they have not got married, they have not performed yajna, they have not begotten children. So, ek bhi nahi hua. What to speak of other two? They are not free from the debts to the Devatas and Pitrus since they will not produce children or perform sacrifice. So they remain indebted to all these great personalities. So how will they attain perfection? Like that Daksha is telling. And Daksha further says, O sinner, killer of trust, because of renouncing material enjoyment without paying their debts, their fortune in this life has been ruined. Fortune in next life is also ruined. Because they have taken to renunciation without being qualified. One cannot take renunciation prematurely. But you have given renunciation to my sons prematurely. So they will be in between only. So like that. Runani trini apakritya mano mokshe niveshayat. Anapakritya moksham tu seva mano vrajantada. It says that Manu says in Manusmriti, having paid one's three debts, the mind should enter into liberation. That means the one should focus on attaining moksha. Not paying those debts and practicing liberation, a person goes to hell. Either not paying those debts or not practicing sadhana for liberation, one is destined to go to hell. This is the principle of Manusmriti. It is also one of the Dharma Shastras meant for Varnashrama Dharma, practicing Karma Yoga. So like that. So because of these Shastric injunctions, Daksha Prajapati is feeling very sorry that my sons have not completed with their education. Then what to speak of getting married and begetting children and then performing yajna, all these things and fulfilling their indebtedness to their devatas, rishis and pitrus. They are prematurely taken to sannyas. What will happen to them? So like that. That's how he was worried. And then he's criticizing Narada Muni for this time, this kind of misfortune for his sons. Then further says, Evam tam niranukrosho balanam matibiddare parshada madde charasi yashoha nirapatrapa. Please read, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Ah, yes, Mataji, please read.
Prajapati Daksha others, living at least and yet claiming to be an associate of God Vishnu. You are defaming the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You needlessly created a mentality of renunciation, innocent voice, and therefore you are shameless and devoid of compassion. How could you travel with the personal associate of the Supreme Lord?
Without compassion, destroying the mind of young boys and destroying the Lord's fame among the devotees of the Lord, you travel about without shame. See, Lord's devotee means one should follow the injunctions of the Vedas properly. And we are trying to follow and you are spoiling us. What kind of person are you? Shamelessly you are wandering everywhere and disturbing us. Like that, Daksha is telling Narada Muni. What can I say to such an evil person as you? The Lord becomes defamed by servants like you. You are without compassion. You spoil the intelligence fixed in performing karmas according to scriptures. You have destroyed the fame of the Lord. That's why he's telling Narada Muni all these things. You have committed offense against the Lord among the Vaishnavas, among the devotees of the Lord like me. That offense is therefore difficult to remove. What to speak of doing bad activities, being without compassion, being without remorse, and betraying trust. All of us trusted that you are a devotee, you know Dharma, but you are acting adharmically. What kind of person are you? Because of you, the Lord's fame will be destroyed. Like that, Daksha is criticizing Narada Muni because Narada Muni is going against the principles of Dharma Shastras, which are talking about all these duties one has to execute. Once all the duties are executed, then one can take to renunciation, practice moksha, practice sadhana for attaining moksha and attain moksha. So it is like that. Not one should do prematurely. Nanu Bhagavata Nityam Bhutanugraha Katara Rite Tvam Sahrudagnam Vai Vairankaram Avairinam.
All the devotees of the Lord, but you are very kind to the conditioned souls and are able to benefit others. Although you wear the dress of a devotee, you create enmity with people who are not your enemies, or you break friendship and create enmity between friends. Are you not ashamed of posing as a devotee while performing these abominable actions?
Except for you, who are a breaker of friendship and producer of enmity among those with enmity. The devotees are always compassionate to the living beings. All the devotees, just by becoming devotees of the Lord Vishnu, they are all friends with each other and they trust each other. They have complete faith upon each other. But you, in the name of a devotee of the Lord, you have betrayed our trust and we are going against the principles laid by the Supreme Lord. Like that. You have come before me and what type of face will you show me? You are so shameless. Devotees are compassionate, but you show violence to other beings. You have spoiled my 11,000 sons. Prematurely made them renunciates and they can't attain perfection. They can't come back also. You have done so much violence against them. I have shown friendship to you, trusting you as a devotee of the Lord, but you have broken friendship with me. You create enmity, having shown explicit enmity to me. What type of face are you showing me? You are certainly shameless. Thus, I am making you just a little ashamed. So anyway, you are shameless. You have come in front of me, and don't think that I am harshly speaking to you. These are nothing actually before what you have done. Like that, Daksha is expressing his anger towards Narada Muni because his way of leading life has been thwarted. So he is very much angry. So in that way. Then he further says, Netam pumsham viragaha satvaya kevalinam rusha manyase yadi upashamam sneha pasha nikrantanam.
Prajapati Daksha continued, if you think that simply awakening the sense of renunciation will detach one from the material world, I must say that unless full knowledge is awakened, simply changing dresses as you have done cannot possibly bring detachment.
Though you think that renunciation will bring tranquility and cut the knots of affection, real detachment will not arise simply by your false show in which you believe innocent boys. You bewilder the innocent boys. Daksha is saying that though you may think that renunciation will bring tranquility and cut the knots of affection, but real detachment will not arise simply by your false show of renunciation, false show of words, intellectual words which bewilder the innocent boys. Actually, renunciation will come when one sees samsara. When one sees the difficulties in samsara, one really gets the renunciation. Like that, Daksha is telling. I recommend renunciation. From that, I recommended renunciation. From that arises tranquility of mind, and from that comes cutting the knot of affection. How can you say your sons are not qualified for liberation because you think that they do not come to you, their father? It is not necessary for a renounced person to pay his 3 debts. Shruti says. So Nardamuni says that no. You may think like that, but the same Shruti also says that for renunciate there are no runas left. Yed aharyeva virajet tad aharyeva parvajet yadi chetaratha brahmacharyad eva pravrajet. He says that when one becomes detached, one should leave the house. If circumstances are otherwise, one can renounce from brahmachari life itself. As soon as a person becomes detached from this material world, one should take to renunciation. Even if a person is detached from this world at the time of brahmacharya also, even while studying Gurukul, then also one can renounce this world starting from brahmacharya life itself. It is not a fault at all. And I have given mercy to them through teachings and detachment. So like this Nardamuni is saying, the same Shastra also says that if one is detached, he can take to renunciation even from brahmacharya life also. He no need to get into grahastha ashram and then lead the entire life, then become detached and then take renunciation. Instead of waiting so long, if one is detached from the very beginning, one can take to renunciation. Then Daksha says, it is true that detachment is possible by some mercy of some great devotee, Krupa Siddhi. Though you have bewildered the minds of these boys, and for 7 or 8 days they show detachment. Real detachment arising from correct rules will not appear by this false show, dressing as a renunciate without having knowledge or thinking that you are a pure Vaishnava. Oh, my dear Nardamni, wait, you are speaking big words. But you think that by looking at you and by hearing some word jugglery spoken by you, They will become detached. What they have got, maybe 7-8 days, they may continue in the forest with detachment, but immediately they'll come back. When they come back, when they enter again back into gross life, everyone will laugh at them. You have created a great violence against my sons. So what kind of a person are you? You think you are a pure Vaishnava, but you are not. So like that, Daksha is telling to Narada Muni. Though you think of tranquility, that will not arise since you are not a great devotee. If a great devotee shows his mercy upon some innocent boys, yes, there will be some possibility of renunciation. But you think you are a great devotee? No, you are not a great devotee. So how can your words will have power? So like that, Daksha is criticizing Narada Muni. So like this, verse after verse, Daksha is actually telling Narada Muni very angrily. Then he says, Nanubhuyana janati puman vishaya tikshnatam nirvidyate swayam tasman na tata bhinnadi parai.
Material enjoyment is indeed the cause of all unhappiness, but one cannot give it up unless one has personally experienced how much suffering it is. Therefore, one should be allowed to remain in so-called material enjoyment while simultaneously advancing in knowledge to experience the misery of this false material happiness. Then, without help from others, one will find material enjoyment detestful. Those whose minds are changed by others do not become as renounced as those who have personal experience.
He says that detachment will arise only when one sees and when one experiences the dualities in the material world. Without seeing anything, without experiencing anything in this world, how can one get developed detachment? So like that, Daksha is saying, without experiencing it, a person will not know the pains of material enjoyment. From that experience, he will naturally become detached. A person whose mind is torn up by others' ideas will not become detached. Daksha says, therefore, my dear Narada, you have no knowledge. Hear from me the royal path of detachment, the traditional path of detachment. Without having experienced how material enjoyment gives suffering, a person cannot know that condition. Without having experienced how material enjoyment is the cause of suffering, one cannot know the condition. After understanding the suffering arises from enjoyment, one will become naturally detached. A person whose intelligence is torn apart by others simply by external word jugglery, like you, will not become naturally detached. The detachment arised in my son's heart by the words hearing by the words spoken by you will not last long. But really, when a person enters into this material world and while trying to enjoy the material world, one who goes through misery, then one becomes detached. The detachment is long-lasting detachment. So like that, Daksha is saying. Even my dear Narada, you may say that your sons are already detached, so I have sent them to renunciation. But actually, that is not complete detachment. That is because due to lack of knowledge and experience, they are innocently detached. But unless until one sees this world of how it is, then the detachment gained by that one will never look back. So like that. Even Sri Vaishnavas also, even today the Sri Vaishnavas have same feeling. Sri Vaishnava said that one cannot become brahmachari and continue to live the whole life like brahmachari. That is not the proper ashram. So one should actually go to Gurukul, study, come back, get married, and see the world, see the dualities of the world, experience the dualities of the world. Then take to renunciation and take to anaprastha or sannyas. Then one can continue as a sannyasi, and such a person will never look back into this material world. This is the traditional path, and it is being accepted by many people in the past and the present also. So like that. So since you have made my sons renunciants prematurely, I'm not sure their judgment will last long or they may come back again. So like that, Daksha is feeling very sorry about his son's condition. So like that. Hare Krishna, all of you are able to follow? Any questions?
Hari Prabhu. Sorry.
Then Daksha further says, Yannastvam karma sandhanam sadhunam gruhamedinam kritavan asi durmarsham vipriyam tavamarshitam.
Although I live in household life with my wife and children, I honestly follow the Vedic religious practices, intuitive activities, enjoy life without simple reaction. I have performed all kinds of yajnas, including the Deva Yajna, Yajna, Pitra Yajna, and Nira Yajna. Because these yajnas are called vratas, vows, I am known as a Grihavarta. Unfortunately, you have given me great displeasure by misguiding my son for no reason to the path of renunciation. This can be tolerated once.
Here Daksha is saying that you can be forgiven once for causing such intolerable harm to an honest householder following the rules of karma. You have misdirected my first sons, Haryashwas. Okay, you have been forgiven. But you have done the same thing once again. You have misdirected my second sons also, Savalashwas. So this time you cannot be forgiven. Daksha is saying this, and he will also curse Narada Muni in the next verse. I can give 4 times the result for whatever causeless enmity you have shown to me. But I will not do that. See my tolerance as a householder. Being a householder, I have more tolerance than you. I can forgive 4 mistakes by a person like you. But you don't deserve my forgiveness. Because I follow the rules. I am a sadhu on the path of karma. I do not know how to act inimically to others. I don't know enmity towards anybody, but you are full of enmity with me. You don't like to see me happy. You are not at all happy to see me happy. You are so envious of me. I forgive you who are unworthy of the renounced order, intent on doing harm to others, who have broken the rules of jnana and bhakti for your intolerable offense. You externally claim that you are the follower of bhakti and jnana, but you have destroyed all the rules of bhakti and jnana, that is showing compassion to others. You are actually full of enmity towards me, and you don't deserve forgiveness. I am a householder, honest householder, following the principles of dharma. I have a lot of tolerance to forgive people like you for 4 or 5 times, but you don't deserve to be forgiven. So I don't want to forgive you. I have done once. This is second time. I will not leave you just like that. Instead, I will curse you this. So what is that curse? Tanta prantana yannastvam abhadram achara punaha tasmal lokeshu te moda na bhaved brahmata padam. O cause of separation from sons, O fool, because you have created misfortune for me, you will wander about without a permanent place in all planets. So this is the curse pronounced by Daksha unto Narada Muni. You are causing misfortune unto me. Similarly, may you also have misfortune. What kind of misfortune? A person who causes separation from children. You have caused my sons to fall from their position. Therefore, you will not have a place to stay in the world. According to Daksha, staying at a particular place, living with one's family members is the happiness in this world. So since you have removed my happiness, I will curse you that you will also never have the happiness of being staying at one place. You keep wandering from place to place, a placeless wandering. Then Narada Muni actually says that, thank you very much. So now I can freely travel everywhere and anywhere and preach the glories of Supreme Lord. I don't have to stay at one place only. Your curse is a blessing in disguise for me. Like that, Narada Muni takes it. Even Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, it seems that many of the parents of our devotees are cursing me. As a result of that, I am continuously traveling from place to place. I am not staying at one place because I have made many of my disciples brahmacharis and all their parents are cursing me. So as a result of that, I am traveling all the places and able to preach more and more. So this is a blessing in disguise. So like the Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport. These are all different words spoken by Daksha. Then after hearing all these words, Narada Muni, what did he do? After hearing the curse of Daksha, what did Narada Muni do? So this is the last verse of the chapter. Sukadeva Goswami says, Sri Shuka Uvacha Prati Jagraha Tadbhadam Narada Sadhu Sammata Etavan Sadhu Vadohi Titikshe Teshwara Swayam. Yeah, please read the translation.
Sri Sukadeva Goswami continued, my dear king, since Narad Muni is an approved saintly person, when cursed by Prajapati Daksha, he replied, Tat Badam. Yes, what you have said is good. I accept this curse. He could have cursed Prajapati Daksha in return, but because he is a tolerant and merciful sadhu, he took no action.
Yeah. Sri Sukadeva Goswami is saying that Narada Muni of saintly conduct, when he was thus cursed by Prajapati Daksha, accepted the curse. Badam iti, yes sir, whatever you say, I'll accept it. Though capable of cursing Daksha, Narada tolerated Daksha's curse, since that is the nature of a saintly person. Titikshete Swara Swayam. Narada Muni Swayam Titiksha personified, that's why he was tolerating the curses pronounced by Daksha. Narada accepted the curse because the saintly tolerate such things, sadhu samataha. He was capable of counter the curse, but he did not do because Narada was saintly etavan sadhu vadaha. So then, why Narada was coming here and he himself came here and took the curse of Daksha? What is the reason? As we mentioned in the beginning, Narada came to give Daksha mercy. When Narada heard the criticism of Daksha, why did Narada not leave the place? He could have left in middle only. Why did he stay till the end? This was Narada's intention. Narada thought like this. Controlled by anger, let Daksha criticize me a lot. Let him curse me also. This is the result of anger. In anger, one will do like that only. One will not wait patiently. One will speak like harsh words and curse also. This is the result of anger. When his anger subsides, he will see that I did not criticize him or curse him in return and tolerate everything. Then Daksha will repent that he has criticized and cursed a devotee of the Lord just like Kumaras. When they went to Vaikunta, to the gates of Vaikunta. So when Jaya Vijaya stopped them, Kumaras cursed. But when Jaya Vijaya begged forgiveness, Kumaras also felt very sorry that they have cursed two innocent gatekeepers. Like that, Narada thought that after cursing, when I don't say anything, then Daksha will become remorseful. And then I can give him bhakti, like that, Narada thought. Then Daksha will be a suitable field for sowing the seed of bhakti. I will then go and sow the seed of pure bhakti in the heart of Daksha. Everyone in the lineage of Swayambhuva Manu, Uttanapada and Privrata, they went back to Godhead. The only person is wanting to stay in this material world is Daksha. I should show him the special favor, special mercy. I should deliver him like that. Narada Muni came here, hoping that after criticizing me, after cursing me, Daksha, seeing me not saying anything, will become sorry and begs forgiveness. That time I can give bhakti, seed of bhakti to him. Like that Narada thought. But thinking in this way, Narada remained there for the proper moment. But unfortunately, seeing that Daksha was not repentant, Narada then left, remembering, oh, what power the remnants of offense to Lord Shiva have. So Daksha did not become repentant only. Daksha thought what he's doing is actually correct. Then Narada waited some time and then he thought, okay, there is no change in the heart of Daksha. This is all because of Daksha's offense to Lord Shiva. Then Narada left from that place. This is how this chapter ends. Like that. Any questions till now? Hare Krishna.
Haribol Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Actually, a few verses back, you quoted some. I mean, it was said Shruti says so about practicing Varnashram Dharma properly. So Shruti, when we say Shruti, it's Vedas only, right? So in Veda, the Varnashram system has to be followed. That is instructed.
Yes, the Vedas talk about Karma Yoga elaborately.
Okay, okay.
For
And
those practicing Karma Yoga, these are the principles. But for those practicing Bhakti, there are some excuses also. Like we study Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Raja. If one who is not able to not following all these things because one is fully engaged in Bhakti, then one is excused by Lord personally. From Dharma point of view, one is not supposed to be executed, but Lord himself makes excuses for that devotee. So in that way.
Okay, okay. But as you said, Sri Vaishnavas don't appreciate if somebody directly practices bhakti. I mean, this is how it is.
No. Sri Vaishnavas say that one should practice bhakti, but following the Varnashrama Dharma. One should go to Gurukul study and then come home, get married, and then take to renunciation. This is the proper way, they say. One should practice bhakti from the very beginning of birth, but while doing so, one should also follow Varnashrama Dharma in order. One cannot say that I have become brahmacharya, I live like a whole life brahmacharya. Not that. Every Sri Vaishnava will not say like that, but some Sri Vaishnavas are very much strong in this opinion.
Okay. Yeah, that's
So
what I was.
cannot...
Yeah, sorry, you say?
Same thing. Like when they see our brahmacharis, so they don't accept as the proper brahmacharis. Then they say that you people have not seen the world. You people are supposed to go through the world, the Varnashram Dharma properly. Like that they say. This is not the proper way to become brahmacharis. Like that they say. They don't say as brahmacharis. They say that this is not the proper way to become the renunciate. For them, brahmachari means before 25 years studying in Gurukula. That is brahmacharya. One cannot be brahmachari throughout the life. That's what they say.
Okay. Understood, Roger. Thank you.
Other devotees, any questions? Hare Krishna. Anyone else? So those were the verses from chapter 5. So with that, chapter 5 completed. Now what happened next will be discussed in the chapter 6. The 6th chapter describes the descendants of Daksha, Daksha's daughters, among whom Tashta was born to Aditi. The progeny of the daughters of Daksha will be described in the next chapter. This is a big chapter, about 45 verses. We'll try to discuss. So now, 2 times Daksha begot sons. So Narada Muni was delivering them one after the other. So now, Lord Brahma comes after cursing Narada Muni. Brahma comes to Daksha, and Brahma kind of pacifies Daksha, and then he says that don't beget sons, instead beget daughters. So following the instruction of Brahma, this time Daksha will beget daughters. And they were given marriage to various personalities, and eventually they gave birth to many children to the entire universe. by which Daksha fulfilled the order of Lord Vishnu. Like that. That's how this chapter goes. Shri Shuka Uvacha Tata Prachetaso Shingnam Asiknyam Anu Nita Swayambhuva Srishtim Sanjanayam Asa Duhitra Pitruvastala. Yeah, someone read the translation.
Sri Goswami said, "My dear king, thereafter, at the request of Lord Brahma, Prajapati Daksha, who is known as Prajeta, begot 60 daughters of his wife Akshiti. All the daughters were ready to celebrate towards their father."
Sukadeva Goswami says, at the request of Lord Brahma, Prajapati Daksha begot in the womb of his wife Asikni 60 daughters who were very affectionate towards their father. Third time, Daksha begot only daughters, no sons. That too 60 daughters. Though Daksha became disgusted with household life, on the order of Lord Brahma, he again took up the household life, thinking that Narada would not give up his hostility and worrying that again his sons will be disappear. He bore daughters only. So now Lord Brahma came and kind of consoled Daksha, and then he kind of hinted that don't beget sons if you think that Narada Muni is causing disturbance. Beget daughters only. Daksha also determined, if I beget sons again, this time Jan Bujke, no, Narada Muni will come and deliver my sons. So instead, I will beget daughters so that Narada Muni will not touch them. In that way, this time Daksha begot 60 daughters. So what happened to those 60 daughters is the topic of this chapter. This entire chapter is all about whom these 60 daughters married and what kind of children they produced and where they and what kind of children they also produced. So that is the topic of this entire chapter. So now let us see. The 60 daughters were given marriage to various personalities to whom they were given marriage. Dasha Dharmaya Kayadad Dvishatri Nava Chedvane Bhutangri Krishashvebhyo Dve Tarksha Chapara Namadeyani Amusham Stvam Shapatyanam cha me shrunu Yasam prasuti prasavair loka apuritastraya. Read the translation.
He gave 10, 10 daughters in charity to Dharmaraj, Yamraj, 13 to Kashyapa, first 12 and then one more, 27 to the moon god, and 2 each to Angira, Krishava, and Bhuta. The other 4 daughters were given to Kashyapa. Thus Kashyapa received 17 daughters in all. Now please hear from me the names of all these daughters and their descendants who filled all the 3 worlds.
So out of 60 daughters, 10 daughters were given in marriage to Yamaraj. 13 daughters were given in marriage to Kashyapa. Okay. 27 daughters were given to moon god. 2 daughters were given to Angira, Krashava, and Bhuta. How many total? 10 plus 13 plus 27 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. The remaining 4 daughters were also given to Kashyapa. So Kashyapa married total 17. 10 plus 17 plus 27 plus 6. Total 60. The 60 daughters were given marriage to different personalities. So for any parent, getting their daughters married is the prime most responsibility. Daksha also did the same thing. He got his 60 daughters married to different personalities. 10 to Yamaraj, Dharmaraj, 17 to Kashyapa, 27 to Moon God, 2 daughters to Angira Rishi, 2 daughters to Krashashva Rishi, and 2 daughters to Bhuta. Now, after marrying all these different daughters of Daksha, how all these great sages and great personalities begot various children will be discussed in the upcoming verses. Now, who are those 10 daughters given in marriage to Yamaraj are mentioned in the next. Text number 4 to 16 talks about the descendants of the 10 daughters of Daksha through Yamaraja. The lesser devatas were born to these 10 daughters of Daksha. Banur Lamba Kakudyamir Vishwasadya Marutvati Vasur Muhurta Sankalpa Dharma Patnya Sutan Shrunu. These were the 10 daughters of Daksha who married Dharmaraj. These are the 10 Dharma Patnis of Dharmaraj. Bhanu, Lamba, Kakud, Yami, Vishwa, Sadhya, Marutvati, Vasu, Muhurta, Sankalpa. These are the 10 daughters married Dharmaraj. Now here are the names of their sons. Bhanostu Devarushabha, Indrasenastato Nrupa, Vidyota Asil Lambayas, Tatascha, Tana Itnava. Yeah, please read.
A son named Devarishika was born of Manu, and from him came a son named Indrasena. From the womb of Namba came a son named Vidyuta, who generated both the children.
O king, a son named Devarishaba was born from the womb of Banu. So Banu was the first wife. So Banu gave birth to Devarishaba. And from Devarishaba came a son named Indrasena. Devarushaba's son is Indrasena. From the womb of Lamba, Lamba was the second wife, came a son named Vidyota, who generated all the clouds. Vidyota is in charge of all the clouds. And then Kakuda Sankatastasya Kikatastanayo Yata Bhuvo Durghani Yamiya Swargo Nadistato Bhavat. From the womb of Kapud was the third daughter of Daksha, came a son named Sankata, whose sons were named Kikata. Sankata and Kikata were the descendants of Kapud. From Kikata came the Devata named Durgas. From Yami, the fourth daughter, the son named Swarga, whose son was Nandi were born. So like that is the children, grandchildren of all these different daughters are indicated. From Kikata came many Durgas, who are the Devatas representing Durga Devi. Like that. So now, next one was Vishwa. Vishwa was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th daughter of Daksha. Vishve Devastu Vishwaya Aprajamstan Prachakshate Sadhyo Ganascha Sadhyaya Artha Siddhistu Tatsuta. The sons of Vishwa were the Vishwadevas, who had no progeny. The Vishwadevas have no children. From the womb of Sadhya came the Sadhyas, who had a son named Arthasiddhi. The Sadhyas have a son named Arthasiddhi. These Sadhyas are also living in the moon planet. The Pitrudevatas are living in one side of the moon planet. Sadhyas are living in the other side of the moon planet. Like that. The next, Vishwa was the 5th daughter. The 6th daughter was Marutvas. Marutvamsa Jayantascha Marutvatya Babhuvatu Jayanto Vasudevamsha Upendra Itiyam Vidu. The two sons who took birth from the womb of Marutvati were Marutvan and Jayanta. The sixth wife was Marutvati. Her children were Marutvan and Jayanta. Jayanta, who is an expansion of Lord Vasudeva, is known as Upendra. Another name of Jayanta is Upendra, who is an expansion of the Supreme Lord. So sometime back in the second and third cantos, while we were discussing the presiding deities of the 10 senses, the deities for the karmendriyas such as mouth is Agni, the hands is Indra, the legs is Upendra we hear. So Upendra, with an expansion of the Supreme Lord, is this Upendra. He is one of the devatas who is a kala of the Supreme Lord. Vasudeva Amsha, an expansion of Lord Vasudeva, but may not be completely Lord himself. But this person, he takes care of the service in charge, is the service in charge of the legs of all the living entities. So he is responsible for that. Just like Indra takes care of the hand service, Upendra takes care of leg service. So he is the Upendra. Not the Upendra whom we call Vamana, not Lord Vamana. This one is the in charge, who is also an empowered person by the Supreme Lord. Aditi's son was also called as Upendra. Lord Vamana is also called as Upendra, but this Upendra is different from that Upendra. Mahurtika Devagana Muhurtayasta Jajnire Evai Phalam Prayachanti Bhutanam Swaswakalajam. Here it says that the Devatas named Mahurtikas took birth from the womb of Muhurta. The next seventh daughter was Muhurta. From her, the children were born and known as Mahurtikas. These Mahurtikas are the in charges for the 30 Muhurtas in a day. For every Muhurta, there is one in charge. So there could be 30 daughters, 30 children. They deliver the results of actions to the living entities at the proper time. For each Muhurta, whatever results we are supposed to receive, they are given by these Mahurtika Devatas, who are the in charges of 30 Muhurtas in a day. Then the remaining daughters gave birth to different children. That is mentioned in these two verses. Sankalpayastu Sankalpa, Kama Sankalpa, Sankalpa Jasmutaha, Vasavo Ashtau Vaso Putras, Tesam Namani Meshrunu, Dronaha Prano Dhruvorkognir, Dosho Vastor Vibhavasuhu, Dronasya Vimate Patnya, Harshashoka Bayadaya. Yeah, someone read the translation.
The son of Sankalpa was known as Sankalpa, and from him Dasa was born. The son of Vasu had known as the 8 Vasus. Just here their names from Drona, Prana, Dhruva, Arka, Agni, Kosha, Vastu, and Vibhavasu. From Abhimati, the wife of the Vasu named Drona, were generated the sons named Harsha, Shoka, Baya, and so on.
Sankalpa gave birth to Sankalpa, and that Sankalpa gave birth to Kama. And the last wife, Vasu. The sons of Vasu were known as 8 Vasus, Ashta Vasus. Just hear their names from me. Drona, Prana, Dhruva, Arka, Agni, Dosha, Vastu, and Vibhavasu. These were the 8 Vasus who are known as 8 Agni Devatas. Agni is also there among them, but these are also there. So if you remember, Nanda Maharaj is said to be an expansion of Vasu, whose name is Drona. So Drona name comes here. And today is Bhishmashtami. And Bhishmadev was also said to be one of the expansion of Vasu. That Vasu name is Dyu Vasu. At least that Dyu Vasu name is not coming here. The Dyu Vasu could be The children or grandchildren of one of these 8 Vasus, because they are all coming in the lineage of Vasu, so they are all called Vasus only. So though his name is not here in one of the eight personalities, but later on he must have been there. So today Bhishma's Tirobhav Divas. Today, looking at the beautiful face of Lord Krishna, Bhishma left his body and went back to the spiritual world. So now, so Vasu married Dharma and gave birth to 8 Vasus. And these 8 Vasus married other people and they gave birth to various personalities. So now of the 8 Vasus, their children and all will be discussed. From Abhimati, the wife of the Vasu, named Drona. So Drona married Abhimati, the first Vasu, Drona married Abhimati. And they produced Arsha, Choka, Baya and other children. These are the children of Drona and his wife Abhimati. So like that. Like that, all the children of 8 Vasus will be mentioned now. Pranasyorjaswati Bharya Sah Ayu Purojava Dhruvasya Bharya Dharanir Asuta Vividhapura. Urjaswati, the wife of Prana, gave birth to 3 sons named Saha, Ayu, Purojava. From the wife of Dhruva, known as Dharani, came various cities. Dhruva married Dharani and both of them gave birth to various cities. Basic cities means the in charges of various cities. For example, we have Ayodhya. For Ayodhya city, there is an in charge in Devaloka. We have Mayapur, we have Navadvip, and we have Vrindavan. All these special cities have an in charge in the heaven. So they were born to Dhruva and Dharani. Then Arkasya Vasana Bharya Putras Tasradaya Smruta Agner Bharya Vasordhara Putra Dravinakadaya. From the womb of Vasana, the wife of Arka, came many sons headed by Tarsa. Dara, the wife of Vasu, named Agni. Agni married Dhara and gave birth to many sons headed by Dravinaka. Skandascha Kritika Putro Ye Vishakadayastata Doshasya Sharvari Putra Vishumaro Hare Kala. Here it is said, from Kritika, another wife of Agni. Agni had 2 wives. One wife name is Dara, other wife name is Kritika. So Agni, the deity of fire god, through Kritika gave birth to Skanda or Kartikeya, whose sons were headed by Vishaka. So Kartikeya originally was the son of Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati. When Lord Shiva impregnated Mother Parvati with his semen, Mother Parvati said that I cannot carry your semen, it is very hard. Please do something. Then Lord Shiva requested Agni and Vayu to take this semen and deposit it in the waters of Ganga, because it is very hot, it should be cooled. Ganga water is very cold. So they took, Agni and Vayu took the semen to Ganga. They will deposit in Ganga. Ganga said, I cannot bear it. It is very, very hot. I cannot tolerate it. Take it. So Agni took that semen with the help of Vayu, carried it onto the top of the mountain and threw it from the top of the mountain. And that semen falling from the top of the mountain, rolling down, lost its heat. And eventually, finally, it settled at one place. There, that semen transformed, because it was rolling down through the mountain, it transformed into a child and took the shape of a small boy. That boy was, there was no name given. Here, it's very difficult to tell whose son is he. Is he the son of Lord Shiva? Is he the son of Agni? He is a son of Vayu, or he is the son of Parvati or Ganga, or he is the son of mountain. His birth is very guha, very secret. That's why it's called guha. So he was crying. He was crying for mother's milk after his birth was taken place. Then suddenly Agni requested his wives, Kritika. So Kritika came. So Kritika understood this fellow is very hungry. So he is not sufficient to drink the milk of one mother. So Kritika expanded herself into 6 forms, 6 Kritikas. So since there are 6 mothers, this Kanda or Guha also manifested 6 mouths. So with his 6th mouth, he simultaneously drank the milk of 6 Kritika mothers. So Kritika took the position of a mother for Skanda. From there on, Skanda became known as Kartikeya. That's why he got the name Kartikeya. So here he considered as the son of Agni and Kritika. And then from the womb of Sharvari, the wife of Vasu named Dosha. Dosha is the next Vasu. He married Sharvari. Through Sharvari came a son named Shishumara, who was an expansion of the Supreme Lord. So Dosha, after marrying Sharvari, they gave birth to Lord Shishumara, who was an expansion of the Supreme Lord. So like that, different Vasus, the 8 Vasus gave birth to different children. And last 1 or 2 Vasus remaining, we see, no, the Vasus are over. So like this, the 10 wives who married, the 10 daughters of Daksha who married Dharma gave birth to different children. Their list was mentioned here. Vastor Angirasi Putro Vishwakarma Kritipati Tato Manus Chakshusho Vishve Sadhya Manosuta. Someone read the translation? Vinit Prabhu.
From Angirasi, the wife of the Vasu named Vastu, was born the great architect Vishwakarma. Vishwakarma became the husband of Akriti, from whom the Manu named Chakshusha was born. The sons of Manu were known as the Vishwadevas and Sadhyas.
So here you see one interesting thing. From Angirasi, the wife of the Vasu named Vastu. So Vastu, the wife of the Vasu named Vastu. So the 8th Vasu was Angirasi. Looks like Vasu named Vasu. Okay, Vastu is the 8th Vasu. His wife name is Angirasi. So there born a great architect, Vishwakarma. So Vishwakarma was the son of Vastu and Angirasi. That's why in our construction, we always refer to Vastu. There is a Devata for Vastu, is a Vastu Purusha. Vishwakarma, husband of Akriti, from whom Chakshusha Manu was born. The sons of Manu were known as Vishwadevas and Sadhyas. And eventually, Vishwakarma married Akriti and gave birth to the 6th Manu, Chakshusha Manu. He was born once again. So like that. Chakshusha Manu was already born during the first Manvantara itself, but now he is again born once again to do the needful. Because there was a pralaya before Daksha could perform this great task of begetting children. So during that pralaya, even the Manu was attained death, and now the same Manu was again born through Vishwakarma. His parents were Vishwakarma and Akriti. Vishwakarma was the husband of Akriti, who gave birth to Chakshusha Manu. Though Chakshusha was born in Dhruva's lineage, he was also born in this lineage like Daksha and Vashishta. So like that, he was again born. The same person who died during the pralaya, he took birth now again. So this is the last verse in connection to these 10 daughters of Daksha. Vibhavasor Suto Vibhavasor Atushtosh Ashutosha Yustam Rochishamaapta Atapam Panchayamota Bhutani Yena Jagrati Karmashu. Usha, the wife of Vibhavasu, gave birth to three sons, Vishta, Rochisha, and Atapa. From Atapa came Panchayama, the span of the day, who awakens all living entities to material activities. Usha, the wife of Vibhavasu, the eighth Vasu, I suppose, and they gave birth to three sons, Vishta, Rochisha, and Atapa. And Atapa married Panchayama, and Atapa gave birth to Panchayama. So like that. From Atapa was born Panchayama. There are 5 yamas, 3-hour periods in a day, which includes dawn and dusk, that leaves night with 3 yamas. So in a day of 24 hours can be divided into 8 parts, each part consisting of 3 hours. That is called yama. Ashtayama or Ashtakaliya Leela we say. So 8 yamas are there in a day. Out of 8, 5 can be considered to be during the daytime and 3 can be considered during nighttime. Especially during summer, our daytime is longer. The sun rises 5 o'clock in the morning and sun sets around 7:30 in the evening. So in that way, if you see, in total about 5.5 hours, 15 hours daytime is there. So during that 15 hours, we can have 5 yamas. So 5 3 are 15. And the night would be for 9 hours. So in that way, the 5 daytime yamas are born to Atapa. They are called Panchayamas. In verse 6 also the Vishwadevas and Sadhyas were born. The Vishwadevas and Sadhyas which are mentioned here were also mentioned in the verse number 6 also. Matlab, these are great number of devatas and they can be born here also, there also. So in that way. So in this way, the lesser category of devatas who are in charges of various aspects of our day-to-day life are born to Dharma, who married the first 10 daughters of Daksha Prajapati. And here is the summary of all those daughters. Yamaraja married 10 daughters of Daksha. Through them, these are the various children, and their children are also mentioned here. And the 10th daughter was Vasu, who gave birth to 8 Vasus. These are the 8 Vasus. They married various ladies, and they gave birth to various children. So this is the complete lineage of 10 daughters of Daksha. Any questions till now, Hare Krishna? Haribol, any questions?
Hare Krishna, no.
No, Prabhu.
Okay. If there are no questions, we'll take a couple of minutes small break and then we continue immediately. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Devotees are there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, can I ask a couple of questions before we begin?
Yeah, please,
before
please.
I was just thinking, Prabhuji, we have heard that Bhishma is one of the Vasu, eighth Vasu he was called, right? So when we are talking about these children, that means this particular pastime or is happening in the heavenly planets, right? Not on the earthly planet, no?
Yes, heaven only.
Yeah, okay. Because when Bhishma took birth, the rest of the seven verses were sent back. When Ganga she gave birth. So that means all this what we are talking right now is happening in the heavenly planets.
No, the Ganga marrying Shantanu and she was
That
giving birth to seven. That all happening earth only.
yeah, that
But the
I know.
Vasus were in the heaven. The Vasus are all in heaven.
Okay, okay, that's what I was thinking. And one more thing, Prabhuji, when you mention about the different children here, like they are presenting particular aspects like Vastu and other things also. So before their birth, these things were not existing. Is that what we have to understand?
No, no, no. See, if you remember our discussion, there was a pralaya during Chakshusha Manvantara in the middle
Yes,
of Chakshusha
yes.
Manvantara. As a result
Huh.
of that, the 10 lokas are completely destroyed. There was no one now. So
Huh.
everyone was there prior to that pralaya. Now
Acha,
everyone
huh.
died. And after the pralaya, everyone has to be reborn. Or some new people should be born who will take the responsibility. That's why we see all these people are again taking birth. Like for example, like Harsha, Shoka, Bhaya. These are all
Yeah,
deities of particular qualities. Saha means
yes.
Sayas, Saha, Sahas, Ayu means Ayush. So like that.
Huh. Yeah.
So these are all different people who are in charge of all these particular aspects and they are all born again now, freshly born.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
these
I
were
never.
all the yes during the remaining part of 6th Manvantara and they are also in charges during the 7th Manvantara also. In the 7th Manvantara also these are the in charges. Now they are doing all the maintenance activity. All
Mm-hmm.
this.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that Pralay thing I never thought of. I said, Arey, they are now coming, then what happened to these aspects before? But yeah, what you're saying is making sense now. Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Other devotees, anyone have any questions? Okay, we'll go ahead. Sarupasuta bhutasya bharya rudram cha kotisha raivato jo bhuvo bhima vama ugro vrishakapi ajaikapad ahir bairbadno bahurupo mahaniti rudrasya parshadaschanye ghora preta vinayaka. Someone read the translation. Sarupa, the wife of Bhuta, gave birth to 10 million Rudras, of whom the 11 principal Rudras were Raivata, Aja, Bhava, Bhima, Vama, Ugra, Vrishakapi, Ajaikapat, Ahirbadna, Bahurupa, and Mahan. Their fearful associates, Pretas, Vinayakas, were also born from other wives of Bhuta. So Sarupa, the wife of Bhuta. So Bhuta married Sarupa. Sarupa was the 11th daughter of Daksha. So she was married to Bhuta. So Bhuta gave birth to Bhuta Preta Pishashas as well as 10 million Rudras. Of the 10 million Rudras, 11 Rudras are special. Their names are mentioned. These 11 Rudras are not 11 Shivas. The 11 Shivas are always existing, but these are the next generation of Rudras. So out of 10 million, 11 are very special. So their names are mentioned here. Bhuta had two wives, two Daksha daughters. From Sarupa came Rudras, headed by the 11 Rudras from Raivata to Mahan. From the other wife came other associates of Rudra. The Bhuta Preta Pishasha, they are all born through other wife. So like that. So basically, Bhuta married 2 daughters of Daksha, and their children are Bhuta Preta Pishashas, Vinayakas, Kushmandas, Vetalas, etc. and also Rudras. These are all born to them. The next 2 daughters were married to Angirasa, and their children are mentioned in the next verse. Prajapatir Angirasa Swada Patni Pitrun Ata Atarvangirasam Vedam Putratve Chakarosati. The Prajapati Angira had 2 wives named Swada and Sati. Swada accepted all the Pitrus as her sons, or Swada gave birth to Pitrus, we can say. And Sati accepted Atarvangisarasa Veda as her son. There is a Veda known as Atharvangirasa Veda. Basically, one section of Atharva Veda is known as Atharvangirasa Veda. There is a deity for this Veda. The deity was accepted as the son of Sati. Angirasa had 2 wives named Swada and Sati. Swada gave birth to Pitrus, and Sati gave birth to Atharva Angirasa Veda person. So like that. The 2 daughters through Angira Rishi gave birth to various children. And the 2 daughters married Krashashva. Krashashvash Archishi Bharyam Dhumraketum Ajijanat Dishanayam Vedashiro Devalam Vayunam Manum. Krashashva had. Okay, read Mataji.
Named Archis and Dishana. In the wife named Archis, he begot Dhumaketu, and in Dishana, he begot 4 sons named Vedasira, Devala, Vayuna, and Manu.
So Krashashva had married 2 daughters of Daksha, Archis and Dishana. So Archis gave birth to Dhumraketu. Dhumaketu, we say not Dhumaketu, Dhumaketu, Ulka, Dhumaketu. So they were the children of Archis. And Dishana gave birth to 4 sons, Vedashira, Devala, Vayuna, and Manu. So Vedashira, other name is Vedashira. His other name is also called as Ashwashira. Ashwashira's other name is Dadyancha Muni. Some say Dadichi Muni also, but some say Dadyancha Muni. So whatever it is, Vedashira, Ashwashira, Dadyancha Muni, all 3 seems to be the same person's different names. And Devala, we have heard in Bhagavad Gita, Asito Devalo Vyasa Swayam Chaiva Pravishme. Sarvameta Dhritam Manne Enman Vadasi Kesava. Naite Bhagavan Viktim Vidur Devana Danava. So, my dear Lord, whatever you have said, I accept as truth. And at the same time, if you don't speak, who else will say all these things? So, you are the highest authority, and whatever you say, as I accept everything as the real. So, like that. And Lord Arjuna again further says, Swayam evatmanatmanam vetatvam purushottama bhutabhavana bhutesha devadeva jagatpate. Whatever you have said, I accept it as it is, because you are the Lord of everyone. So if I don't accept what you have said, then what will I accept? So like that, he said. So then, before that, he also said, Param Brahma, Parandama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan, Purusham, Shashwatam, Divyam, Adidevam, Ajam Vibhu. So this, you are Parabrahma, you are Parandama, you are Pavitra, you are Paramam Bhavan, you are Purusham, you are Shashwata Purusha, or you are Adideva, you are Rajam, you are Vibhu. It is not only I am saying, even I have heard the same thing about you from Ahuswam, Rushaya Sarve, all the great sages, headed by Devarshi Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa. All those great sages also talked about you in this way. So Asita, Devalo, Vyasa, that Devala who was coming there, maybe this Devala only. So we can take him same person. Prashashva had two wives, Archis and Dishana. And through them he begot all these different children. So like that. So these were two daughters were given in marriage to three sages. One was Bhuta, other one is Angira, third one is Prashashva. So now, four daughters married Kashyapa, and these four daughters' children were mentioned here. 6 daughters were given to different sages out of 10. So first 10 were married to Dharma. From the next 10, two were given to three different personalities. The remaining 4 were given to Kashyapa. Who are those 4 people and who are their children are mentioned in these 2 verses. Parkshasya vinata kadru patangi yaminiti cha patangi yasuta patangan yamini talaban ata suparna suta garudam as sakshad yagnisha vahanam suryasutam arunam cha suryasutam arunam cha kadrurnagan anekasa. So who are the 4 daughters of Daksha married Kashyapa? Kashyapa, who is also named Tarksha, had 4 wives. Vinata, she is also called Suparna. Second was Kadru, third was Patangi, the fourth was Yamini. Patangi gave birth to many kinds of birds. So different variety of small birds were born to Patangi. Yamini gave birth to locusts. Locusts are small kinds of insects which also fly, but they are insects. These are birds which fly. These are insects which fly. Vinata gave birth to Garuda, the carrier of Lord Vishnu, and Aruna, the chariot driver of sun god. Vinata gave birth to 2 personalities. One is Garuda, other one is Aruna. The Garuda became the carrier of Lord Vishnu. Aruna became the chariot driver of sun god. Kadru gave birth to different varieties of serpents. Nagan. Like this, the 4 wives of Kashyapa, Vinata, Kadru, Patangi, and Yamini gave birth to different variety of beings. Basically, in one sense, if you see, the birds, insects, Garuda and Aruna, they are all flying personalities. Only Kadru gave birth to snakes, the crawling personalities. Tarsha means Kashyapa, Suparna is Vinata, Anuru means Aruna. So Kashyapa married Patangi, gave birth to many kind of birds. He married Yamini, gave birth to locusts. Married Vinata, gave birth to Garuda, Aruna, the chariot driver of sun god, and also Lord Vishnu. And married Kadru, gave birth to different variety of serpents. So like that. Then 27 daughters of Daksha were married to, out of 60 till now, first 10 and second 10 we discussed. So 40 were remaining. Out of 40, 27, next 27 were given in marriage to moon god. What is their destiny? That is mentioned in these 2 verses.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, sorry to interrupt.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, how do we understand that they gave birth to birds and insects?
So what do you think? How it can be possible? Anyone had any thoughts? Hare Krishna, other devotees, anyone has any thoughts? So since it is not clearly mentioned, there could be 2 possibilities. You can think in 2 ways. So one way was both Kashyapa and these wives might have transformed their physical appearance into that particular species and begot those particular species. Like for example, Kashyapa and Patangi transformed themselves into 2 birds and gave birth to various birds. That is one possibility. Or they have not transformed, but the mother gave birth to a particular pinda. That pinda has been divided into those particular species. From that pinda, she gave birth to a pinda. That pinda has delivered all these birds eventually. So like that also we can think of. Like just now we talked about Skanda. Skanda was not directly born from the womb of any mother. The semen was thrown from the top of the mountain. The semen was rolling down from the top of the mountain. By the way, it became cooled, and then finally the semen was completely covered by dust. From that dust, eventually there appeared a child. Just like the embryo is covered by womb, the semen was covered by the mountain dust. And finally from that there appeared Skanda. So because of these are all happening at the heavenly level, there is a possibility some mysticism is involved in all these things. So in that way we can.
Prabhuji, what is a pinda?
Sorry?
What is a pinda? You said they might have given a pinda.
Pinda means embryo.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Like Gandhari, when she heard that Kunti already gave birth to a son, Yudhishthir, so she became very angry and she hit on her abdomen. Then the Garbha, that pinda which is within her womb, it came out like a flesh, a ball of flesh. That is called pinda. Tirtikadiri nakshetran Indo Patnyasu Bharata Daksha Shapas Sonapatyas Patyas Tasu Yakshma Grahardita Punaha Prasadyatam Soma Kalalebekshayedita. O Maharaj Parikshit, the 27 constellations such as Kritika were all wives of the moon god. Recently in the 5th canto we discussed 27 daughters were married to moon god, and these 27 daughters of Daksha were staying in 27 nakshatras, and the nakshatra are also called with their names. However, because Prajapati Daksha had cursed moon god to suffer from a disease causing gradual destruction, the moon god could not beget children in any of his wives. So out of 27 wives initial days, the moon god was showing special favoritism towards Rohini. The other daughters complained their father. So my dear father is not taking care of us. He married all of us, but he's only spending more time with Rohini only. So then Daksha cursed him to get this disease. That disease known as Ekshma Grahardita. So from our normal day-to-day usage, it is called as leprosy. He was cursed to beget leprosy. When a person who is looking very beautiful, very handsome, and very healthy, when one gets leprosy, one's bodily appearance will completely deform. One's beauty will be completely destroyed. So like that. So that's how Daksha cursed him. As a result of that curse, he could not beget children through any of his wives eventually. Thereafter, the king of the moon pacified Prajapati Daksha and thus regained the portions of light he had lost during his disease. Nevertheless, he could not beget children. The moon loses its shining power during the dark fortnight, and in the bright fortnight it is manifest again. Because the moon god shows favor to Rohini constellation and ignored others, Daksha became angry and cursed him to suffer from consumption, which wastes the body away. So basically, before that, the moon seems to be fully bright always. So you think that you are fully bright and you are so beautiful and you are so proud of your position, I'll curse you that you lose your brightness. Something like that. Lose your beauty. So moon lost all his beauty. So moon became very sorry. He begged forgiveness from Daksha. Daksha said, I have already cursed, I can't do anything. You please go and pray to Lord Shiva. Something can be done. Thus he did not bear, but eventually Soma went to Prabhas Kshetra. There he worshipped Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva said that I cannot nullify the curse completely, but as a result of the curse of your father-in-law, you will lose your brightness for 15 days. and I will bless you that in another 15 days you will regain your brightness. That's why today we see that 15 days the moon losing its brightness. Other 15 days by the blessings of Lord Shiva, he is gaining his brightness. So this arrangement is made by Lord Shiva. But eventually, whatever it is, ultimately the final result is the moon could not beget any children through his 27 wives. Thus moon did not beget. The moon god regained. These portions of light are whittled away during the waning phase of the moon. Another version has Kshayadrita. After waning, the phase of the moon increases. During the waning phase, you will lose the brightness, and during the waxing phase, you will gain brightness. That kind of arrangement has been made with the agreement of Daksha as well as Lord Shiva. So, like that. The 27 constellations, such as Kritika, were all wives of the moon god. So, here are. So, the 27 daughters married moon god, but they could not beget children. That is mentioned. And then other 6 daughters. 2 daughters married Angira. 2 daughters married Krashava. 2 daughters married Bhuta. So, all these gave birth to different children. And 4 daughters married Kashyapa. So, in that way, 10 plus 6 plus 4, 20 plus 27, 47 daughters details are mentioned. Now the remaining 13 daughters are given in marriage to Kashyapa, and their details will be mentioned in the remaining chapter. The remaining chapter will talk about the daughters given in marriage to Kashyapa. Out of 13, first 10 daughters details are mentioned in text number 24-29, and remaining chapter will talk about remaining canto will talk about the remaining 3 daughters, because the 3 daughters are very special daughters. So their history goes for the entire canto. That will be discussed in the entire 6th canto. Will talk about them only. So now let us see the 10 daughters. Any questions till now? Hare Krishna, all of you are following?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I had a doubt.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, that Pindadan we say that is then different from that embryo. See?
No, I could not able to understand your words. Your words are not clear.
Prabhuji, that Pinda you said na is embryo. Is embryo. Then we say na Pindadan. That is different.
Yeah, basically, whether it is say Pindadan or Pinda is nothing but which has not, see, Pinda is something which is the intermediate position after death and before birth. That intermediate state can be called as Preta. If the Jiva is inside the womb of a mother, that is called Pinda. If the Jiva is outside the womb of a mother, that is called Preta. The intermediate state before, after death and before birth. So they have two states. Okay, one state is outside the womb is called Preta. Inside the womb it is called Pinda. Like that. So when we say Pindadan, so Shraddha Karmas, when we are performing, we say that Pindadan. Pindadan means we are actually doing that Pindadan in such a way that the Jiva who just left this body will very soon enter into the womb of a new mother. So that he will not go to hell for the punishment. Instead, he will enter into the womb of a mother immediately and get birth and move on in the next life. So like that. That is basically offering Pindadan is to deliver them from the hell. If they are suffering in the hell, that is not a good condition. But by offering Pindadan, we are delivering from them from hell, and they will enter into the womb of a mother. They will become Pinda. So like that. That is the understanding. So now, Shrunu namani lokanam matrunam Shankarani cha ata Kashyapa patninam yat prasutam idam jagat aditi ditir dhanukashta Arishta Surasaila Muni Krodashvatamra Surabhi Sharamatimi Timer Yadogana Asan Swapadha Sharamasuta. Like that. O King Parikshit, now please hear from me the names of Kashyapa's wives, mothers of the world, from whose wombs the population of the entire universe has come. They are Aditi, Diti, Dhanu, Kashta, Arishta, Surasa, Ila, Muni, Krodashva, Thambra, Surabhi, Sharama, and Timi. From the womb of Timi, all the aquatics took birth, headed by Timingala. And from the womb of Sharama, all the ferocious animals like tigers and lions took birth. The descendants of Kashyapa, 13 daughters, 13 wives, were now described taking the easier ones first, in the manner of the needle and the cauldron. So first, out of 13 wives of Kashyapa, first the simpler one were mentioned, later on the bigger ones, the most important ones will be mentioned at the end. So that is the whole idea. So first one daughter was Timi. Timi gave birth to aquatics. The second one was Sharma. Sharma gave birth to ferocious animals which are living in the forest. Then next, Surabir Mahishagavo Echane Dvishapandrupa Tamraya Sena Gardaya Muner Apsarasam Gana. Surabhi gave birth to buffalo, cow, and other animals with cloven hooves. So the village animals such as buffalo, cow, goat, sheep, all such kind of village animals were given birth by Surabhi, Mother Surabhi. We say na Mother Surabhi, the mother of cows. So all the animals like cow, mother cow, bull, buffalo, goat, sheep, etc. were all children of Surabhi. And then the children, animals with cloven hooves means the animals whose feet are divided into two parts. Last time in the 5th canto, I think 3rd canto, we discussed that. Their feet has been divided into two parts. They are called animals with cloven hooves, like cow feet and bull feet, etc. And the next daughter was Tamra. Next wife was Tamra. Tamra gave birth to eagles and vultures and other large birds. And next one is Muni. Muni gave birth to Apsaras. Dandashukadaya Sarpa, Rajan, Krodashva, Tatmaja, Ilaya Buruaha, Sarve Yatu Danascha Saurasha. The sons born of Krodashva were the serpents known as Dandasuka. Krodashva gave birth to different variety of serpents known as Dandasuka, as well as other snakes. So she gave birth to snakes. All the various creepers and trees were born from the womb of Ila. Ila gave birth to various creepers and trees. All the plants were born through Ila. The Rakshasas were born from the womb of Surasa. Surasa gave birth to all the variety of Rakshasas. Surasa also comes in Ramayana. When Hanumanji was jumping across from Mahindra mountain to Lanka, on the way 3 impediments will come. One is Simhika, other one is Surasa, third one is Mainaka. So Hanumanji kills Surasa during that time. Next. Arishtayastu Gandharva Kashtaya Dishapetara. The Gandharvas were born from the womb of Arishta. And animals whose hooves are not split, such as the horses, mules, and camels, were born from the womb of Kashta. So in this way, the different variety of living entities born from the 10 wives of Kashyapa were mentioned. Other than these 10, there were 3 more important wives. Their names were Aditi, Diti, and Danu. These were the three important wives, and they gave birth to Aditi gave birth to different devatas. Diti gave birth to Daityas and Danu gave birth to Danavas. And now these three wives will be mentioned in the remaining canto, remaining part of the chapter and canto. So in that way. So 10 wives gave birth to 10 different variety of children. Now Danu children are mentioned. Danu will give birth to Danavas, different variety of Danavas. They are all mentioned in this section. Sutadanor ekasheshtis tesham pradanikan shrunu vimurda sambarorishta hayagrivo vibhavasuhu ayomuka shankushiraha swarabhanu kapiloruna puloma vrishaparvacha ekachakronuptapana धूम्रकेशो विरूपाक्षो विप्रचित्तिश्च durjayaha. The Gandharvas were born from the womb of Arishta, and animals whose hooves are not split, such as 10 horses. Okay, this we have read in the previous. O king, from the womb of Danu came 61 sons, of whom these 18 were very important. Who were they? Vimurda, Sambara, Arishta, Hayagriva, Vibhavasu, Ayomukha, Shankushira. Shankushira means we also call him as Shankachuda, who ate up the Sandipani Muni's son. By the request of Sandipani Muni, Lord Krishna comes to this Prabhasa Kshetra, Shankodara, the place known as Shankodara, that is where Lord Krishna killed Shankushira. And he got Shankushira, yeah, maybe. So Lord Krishna got that Panchajanya, Shanku, Kanshal Panchajanya from him only. So he is that demon. Swarabhanu, Kapila, Aruna, Puloma, Vrishaparva, Ekachakra, Anutapana, Dhumrakesha, Virupaksha, Viprachitti, and Durjaya. If you read Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Bhagavatam, other cantos where the fight between Devatas and Asuras is going on, there you can read many of these names. Later on in the 8th canto, even the 6th canto also later on when their fights are described, some of these Asuras names will be mentioned. They are all fighting with the Devatas and all. So that time you can relate. So there are 61 Danavas are there, but out of which 18 are very important. The 18 names are mentioned. Among them, some of them also bear more children, and their details are mentioned in the next few verses. Swarabhano suprabham kanyam uvaha namuchikila Vrusha parvanastu sharmishtam yayatirna hushobali. The daughter of Swarabhanu, son of Danu. Danu's among many sons, one son name is Swarabhanu. So Swarabhanu had a daughter named Suprabha, who married Namuchi. And the daughter of Vrishaparva, named Sharmishta, she married Yayati, the son of Nahusha. So the story of Yayati, Sharmishta, and Devayani will come in the 9th canto, I suppose, 9th canto of Bhagavatam. So it will come later. So basically, Swarabhanu had a daughter Suprabha. She was married to Namuchi. He is also one of the Asura. And Vrishaparva had a daughter Sharmishta. She married, by good fortune, she married Yayati, a great king. And what about the others? Vishwanara Sutayascha Chatasrascha Rudarshana Upadanavi Hayashira Puloma Kalakatata Upadanavim Hiranyaksha Kratur Hayashiram Nrupa Puloman Kalakam Chadve Vaishwanarasute Tuka. Upayemeta Bhagavan Kashyapo Brahmachorita Pauloma Kalakeyascha Dhanava Yuddhashalina Tayoshashti Sahasrani Yajnagnamste Pitupita Jagana Swargato Rajan Eka Indra Priyankara. So now, Vaishwanara, the son of Danu, had 4 beautiful daughters named Upadanavi, Hayashira, Puloma, and Kalaka. Hiranyaksha married Upadanavi. Of these 4 daughters, who are Vaishwanara's daughters, Upadanavi was married Hiranyaksha, and Kratu married Hayashira. Thereafter, at the request of Lord Brahma, Prajapati Kashyapa married Puloma and Kalaka. Puloma and Kalaka were again married by Kashyapa himself. The other 2 daughters of Vaishwanara. From the womb of these 2 wives of Kashyapa came 60,000 sons headed by the Nivatakvachas. 60,000 sons were born through these 2 Pauloma and Kalaka. The sons of Kalaka were known as Kalakeyas. The sons of Puloma were known as Pulomas, and both of them combined together are called as Nivatakvachas, who are known as the Paulomas and Kalakeyas, expert at fighting and stopping sacrifices. The duty of these people is to stop sacrifice. Whenever some rishis perform sacrifice, go and disturb them. And they are expert at fighting also. Your grandfather Arjuna, when he went to heavenly planets, killed all these Danavas to please Indra. So these people performed a tapasya to please Indra, Brahma, and they got a blessing from Brahma that they will be never killed by any of the Devatas, Gandharvas, Kinnaras, Kimpurushas, any superhuman beings cannot kill them. But they thought that the human beings are ordinary people, they can't do anything to us. So let us get the immunity from the Devatas. That's what they got. So, but they are causing so much trouble to Devatas. They have already stolen some of the important properties of Devatas, also some of the important abodes of the Devatas. So when Arjuna went to Swarga to learn all the heavenly weaponry and martial arts, before returning, Arjuna asked Indra, what favor, how can I pay back the Guru Dakshina? Then Indra told that these Nivatakvachas are very adamant. Since they got blessing from Brahma, they cannot be killed by Devatas. They are causing so much trouble to us. So they cannot be killed by us, but you can kill them easily because they did not ask for immunity from human beings. Please kill them. So Arjuna, traveling in the chariot of Indra himself, Indra's chariot, driven by Matali, Arjuna fought a terrible fight with all these Nivatakvachas and killed all of them. So fight went for 1 full day of Devata time period, like one full year almost. Arjuna killed them effortlessly in a huge battle. So they were the children of Kashyapa through Paulomi and Kalaka. So like that. Vaishwanara was another son of Danu. Because he was ordered by Brahma, Kashyapa married Vaishwanara's daughters, who were his granddaughters. Though they were his granddaughters, still Kashyapa married because it is Brahma's order. Through them he bore 60,000 Nivatakvachas. Arjuna, your grandfather, killed them when he went to Swarga. Arjuna himself killed them as he went to Swarga. So like that. Viprachitti simhikayam shatam chaikam ajijanat Rahu jeshtam ketu shatam Grahatvam ya upagata. Then, in his wife Simika, Viprachitti, son of Danu, begot 101 sons. So Simika was the sister of Prahlad Maharaj. Hiranyakashipu had 5 children, 4 sons and 1 daughter. So Prahlada, Lada, like that, so many Aladas only. So the youngest one was Simika. Simika married Viprachitti and they gave birth to 101 children. The eldest was Rahu. The remaining 100 were Ketus. all of them attained the positions as planets. So during the Samudra Manthan episode, the Rahu and eldest of the 100 Ketus, both of them sat in between Sun God and Moon God. Well, Mohini Murti was distributing nectar and these two people drank the nectar. So then Sun and Moon identified that these two are Asura, they are not Devatas. Mohini Murti cut off their necks. Since Ketu already swallowed the nectar was in his abdomen, the head of Ketu was burnt to ashes. And since the nectar was still in the mouth of Rahu, Rahu's whole body was burnt to ashes, the head was intact. So then Brahma said, what to do? So some of the sages suggested that let us kill a snake, let us cut a snake into two pieces and join with the head of Rahu and body of Ketu. So Ketu had human body and snake head. Rahu had human head and snake body. Since they drank nectar, they will live for one full Manvantara time period. And Lord Brahma made them as the in charges for two planets. The planet in which Rahu is in charge is called as Rahu Graha now. The planet in which Ketu was in charge, it is now called as Ketu planet. So like that, they assumed the positions and roles of two planets, Rahu and Ketu, which we see, which cause eclipse because of this particular incident. So like that. So now, descendants of Aditi, Daksha's daughter. So after talking about Danu, then Sukadeva Goswami talks about Aditi. And Aditi gave birth to 12 children. Out of 12, 4 sons and their sons, 12 sons names are mentioned, but 4 sons, grandchildren are mentioned now. And the remaining 8 will be mentioned in the 18th chapter. So in between, from next chapter 7th onwards all the way up to 17, will all is in relation to the children of the 4th son of Aditi. And the remaining children of Aditi will be mentioned in the 18th chapter. And these children will also be talked about in the 18th chapter. It's like that. Atata shruyatam vamsho yoditer anupurvasha yatra narayano deva swamshe nava tare dvidu vibuhu vivashwan aryama pusha tvashtata savita bhaga dhata vidata varuno mitraha shatruvurukramaha. Now please hear from me as I describe the descendants of Aditi in chronological order, among whom Lord Narayana appeared as an expansion, Lord Vamana. The names of the 10 sons of Aditi are as follows: Vivashwan, Aryama, Usha, Tvashta, Savita, Bhaga, Data, Vidata, Varuna, Mitra, Shatru, and Urukrama. So Vivaswan is sun god, Aryama is there, Pusha, Tvashta. This Tvashta only will be taking a lot of time. So Vivaswan 2, 3, 4. So Tvashta will have a son named Vishwarupa. And Vishwarupa was accepted by Devatas as their priest, and eventually Indra cuts off his head. So because his son was killed by Indra for no reason, Tvashta will perform a sacrifice and beget a Rakshasa, Urtrasura. And there was a fight between Uttarasura and Devatas and Indra that is discussed. And Uttarasura displays highly devotional symptoms. And Parikshit Maharaj asks, how come a Asura will be fully devoted? Then his previous life as Chitraketu Maharaj will be discussed in the remaining chapter. Like that, it goes all the way up to 17th chapter. Then 18th chapter will talk about the descendants of Savita, Bhaga, Dhata, Vidata, Varuna, the ocean god, Mitra. Shatru means Shatakratu. Indra is called Shatru. One more name of Indra is Shatakratu, means those who performed 100 kratus He is qualified to become Indra. So he is also called as Shatakratu or Shatru in short form. And Urukrama is Lord Vamana. So like that. So now of these 4 children, each children, how many children they had, that will be discussed. First Vivashwan. Vivashwata Shraddha Devam Samnya Suyata Vaimanum Mitunam Cha Mahabhaga Yamam Devam Yamim Tata Saiva Bhutvaha Vadva Na Satya Sushuve Bhuvi. It is said, Samnya, the wife of Vivashwan, the sun god, gave birth to Manu named Shraddha Deva. So Vivashwan had 3 wives. The first wife name is Samnya. She gave birth to Shraddha Deva, who became the 7th Manu. The current Manu, his name is Shraddha Deva. And also he gave birth to the twins, Yamaraja and Yamuna. Yamuna and Yamaraja were twins. They were born to sun god. Then Yami, while wandering on the earth in the form of a mare, gave birth to the Ashwini Kumaras. It is not actually Yami, it is Vadva. So one more name of Yami is also Vadva. Vadva is the second wife of sun god, and she gave birth to twin Ashwini Kumaras. Ashwini Kumaras were the children of sun god and Vadva, and she is also called as Yami. Shraddha Deva is the 7th Manu. Vaivashvata is also known as Satyavarta previously. Nastau means Ashwini Kumaras. Nastau means Ashwini Kumaras. So basically, sun god through Samnya gave birth to 3 children, Shraddha Deva, Yamuna and Yama. And through Vadva, he gave birth to twin Ashwini Kumaras. Sun god also had 3rd wife. Her name is Chaya. And she gave birth to 3 children. So let us see who are they. Chaya Shanaicha Ramlebe Savarnim Cha Manum Tata Kanyam Cha Tapatim Yavai Vauvre Samvaranam Patim. Chaya, another wife of sun god, begot 2 sons named Shanaichara, Shani, the son of Chaya, and Savarni Manu, and 1 daughter Tapati, who married Samvarna. So Chaya gave birth to 3 children. One was Shani, one was Savarni Manu. Savarni Manu is the 8th Manu. The one person who is going to become Manu in the next Manvantara period is already born to Chaya. Currently he is studying under the Gurukula of Narada Muni. He is the student of Narada Muni, he is staying in Badrikashram and is studying under Narada Muni currently. So he is the son of sun god and Chaya. And she also gave birth to a daughter, Tapati. Just like Yamuna or Kalindi was the daughter of sun god through Samnya. Similarly, Tapati was the daughter of sun god through Chaya. So Yamuna is also special. Tapati river also is so special. Both of them are sun god's children. It's like that. So first one was Vivashwan. First one of the 12 Adityas is Vivashwan. And the second one is Aryama. Now Aryama will be discussed. Aryam no matra kapaten tayos charshanaya sutta yatra vai manushi jatir brahmana chopakalpita. From the womb of Matrika, the wife of Aryama, were born many learned scholars. Among them, Lord Brahma created the human species, which were endowed with an aptitude for self-examination. Aryama married Matrika and they gave birth to highly intellectual beings who are inquisitive to know what is what. And Lord Brahma made them the human beings. These children were made as human beings. So when these children were born, recently we were discussing third canto, Lord Varaha pastimes. When Aryama gave birth to children, so they need to have a place to stay. Till now, everything is happening in the heaven only. So during the pralaya, the Bhumandala ocean. When these children were born, who were supposed to become the human beings, all the devatas headed by Kashyapa performed severe astrology to please Brahma. And Brahma came in front of them. Brahma took all of them to Lord Vishnu. And they all prayed to Lord Vishnu, saying that, my dear Lord, the human beings are born, but the Bhumandala is still in Garbhodaka ocean only. Please do something. Then Lord appeared as Varaha. This time he appeared as Neela Varaha. And he dived deep into Garbhodaka ocean. With smelling, he understood where the Bhumandala is, and he was lifting the Bhumandala from the waters. As he is coming out of the water, suddenly Hiranyaksha came, saying that everything belongs to us. I am the king of the heaven. Do you have to take it away? Fight with me or leave it there. So then Lord Varaha had a good fight with in that fight, their maces were eating and the blood is coming out of their bodies. So Lord's transcendental body was fully covered by the blood coming out of the body of Hiranyaksha. And the Lord was looking like red Varaha, blood Varaha. That's why he's called as Rakta Varaha. Though he appeared as Nila Varaha, because his entire body was smeared by the blood of Hiranyaksha, he became known as Rakta Varaha. That pastime took place after the birth of these personalities. So now we have the concept of Gotra. So whoever children of Aryama who became human beings, and in their descendants, whoever were there even now also, they have the Gotra of Kashyapa. And other children who are born in the lineage of other sages like Vasishtha, etc., they will have the Gotra as Vasishtha, Bhrigu, Angira, like that. Through whichever sage the human beings are born, they will have that Gotra. And through Kashyapa, Aryama was born. Through Aryama, human beings are born. And these human beings are known as, known to have their Gotra as Kashyapa. From the two, Aryama and Matruka were born sons who knew what to do and what not to do. Among some of them who were interested in pursuing spiritual life, Brahma produced the human race. Some people who are like more inquisitive, Brahma made them, okay, you people should be called as human beings, you please go to Bhumandala and live there. Like that, the human race was created during Chakshusha Manvantara. Shruti says, search for Atma is manifested more in the humans than the Devatas. Purushatve cha vistaram Atma. The human beings are more inquisitive to know about Atma. Atato Brahma Jignasa is more in the human beings. So in that way. So this is how one after the other different species were manifested. Then third son of Aditi, third Aditya. Pushanapatya Pistado Bhagnadanto Bhavatpura Yosau Dakshaya Kupitam Jahasa Vivruta Dvija. Pusha had no sons. Pusha, who had laughed at Lord Shiva, who was angry at Daksha and shown his teeth, had his teeth broken and had to live by eating only ground floor. During Daksha Yajna, when Daksha was criticizing Lord Shiva, in one sense, Lord Shiva was becoming a little bit angry. He did not become very angry, but a little bit angry. At that time, Pusha was also sitting in the same assembly. He showed his teeth laughing at Lord Shiva because Pusha was supporting Daksha. So he was showing his teeth to Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva did not do anything. But later on, when Veerabhadra came, Veerabhadra removed all his teeth. He removed in such a way that the teeth cannot grow further. Since then, he cannot eat any footsteps. He can only eat ground floor from there on. Pusha laughed at Lord Shiva, who was angered and showed his teeth. Like that. So this is the third son of Aditi. Third Aditya was Pusha. First one was Vivaswan, second one was Aryama, third one was Pusha. The fourth one was Tvashta. So we have two more verses in this chapter, last two verses. With this, our chapter will be completed. Then we'll stop our class. Tvashtur Daityatmaja Bharya Rachana Nama Kanyaka Sanniveshasthayorjajne Vishwarupascha Viryavan. Somehow or other, the fourth Aditya, Tvashta, he married Rachana, who was the daughter of Asuras. Rachana is coming from the lineage of Daityas. This is where the problem came. A Devata, when he marries a Kanya from Daityakula, the children, whether they belong to Devatas or Asuras, what kind of trait the child will have. That is the cause of all problems, which we will discuss in the future, 6th canto. So after marrying Rachana, Tvashta begot in her womb two very powerful sons named Sannivesha and Vishwarupa. Two sons were born. One is Sannivesha, the second one is Vishwarupa. Both of them are highly intellectual people and great possess Brahmanical qualities. Rachana, daughter of the Daityas, was the wife of Tvashta. From the two of them, two sons were born. Now, so what? So two intellectual sons are born. Then what happened? Tam Vavrire Suragana Swashriyam Dishatam Api Vimatena Parityakta Guru Nangira Senayat. Finally, what happened? Although Vishwarupa was the son of the daughter of Rachana, of their eternal enemies, the Daityas, the Devatas accepted him as their priest in accordance with the order of Lord Brahma when they were abandoned by their spiritual master Brihaspati, whom they had disrespected. When the Devatas had been rejected by their Guru, whom they disrespected, because there was no alternative, they accepted Vishwarupa, the son of a daughter of the Daityas, as their priest. So now there are so many problems in this one verse. First of all, why the Devatas disrespected Brihaspati? And why Brihaspati abandoned the Devatas being their Guru and being their priest? And then why Brahma requested the Devatas to accept Vishwarupa as their Guru? And Vishwarupa, though Vishwarupa was the son of a heavenly father and a Asuric mother. And why Tvashta married a Asuric wife? All these questions will be there. And the next chapter, Parikshit Maharaj will ask a question and then the answer will go till the end of the 17th chapter. It's a big discussion. What happened because of this unhealthy marriage? And also many things. So will be discussed. So if you see, Kashyapa married in total 17 daughters of Daksha. These are all the 1 to 14 are there. Ilatimi, Yamini, Krodashva, Kadru, Vinata, Patangi, Tamra, Sharama, Surabhi, Kasta, Muni, Arista, and Surasa. All these different variety of beings are born. The 15th daughter was Aditi. We can take it as Aditi. Though all the 12 Adityas, their children are not mentioned in this chapter, but just for the sake of information, I put all of them together here. So Vivaswan had 3 wives and their children are mentioned. Aryama, human beings are born. Pusha, no children. Tvashta, Sannivesha and Vishwarupa. Then Savita gave birth to Savitri and Vyahruti, etc. Bhaga gave birth to Mahima, Vibhu, Prabhu and Asi. Data gave birth to many children. Vidata also gave birth to 5 gods, 5 fire gods known as Puriyas. Varuna gave birth to Bhrugumuni and Valmiki. Mitra gave birth to Pippala, Aristasena and Ustarga. Indra gave birth to Jayanta, Rishabha and Medusha. And Urukrama, Lord Vamana, married Kirti and gave birth to Brushloka, and he gave birth to Saubhagya and many other. So like that, the 12 Adityas and their children are mentioned. Then the 16th daughter was Danu. Danu gave birth to 61 Danavas, of which 18 are special, their names are mentioned. Of the 18, some of them are married various personalities and they gave birth to their children. They are all mentioned here. Swarabhanu, Vrishaparva, Vaishwanara, and Viprachitti. Their children are mentioned. Finally, the 17th wife was Kashyapa. The 17th wife of Kashyapa was Diti. And at this time, while all the children were born, Diti gave birth to no children. So that's where the problem started. So you gave birth to everyone, but I have not got any children. I am dissatisfied with everyone. You need to give me children immediately. No, right now. Even though it is in from that, but I want children right now. Like that, she gave birth to Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So that's how the story continues. In the we have seen this past in the third canto, in 70th canto. So this is how we can see how the 60 daughters of Daksha led to the filling of the entire universe with a different variety of living entities. So with these brief details, we'll stop here with the end of this chapter. The next week we'll see what questions Parikshit Maharaj asked and what answers Uday Goswami will give, and that question and that answer will go till the end of 17th chapter. Then we will continue the remaining descendants of Aditi. So Hare Krishna, any questions at the end from any devotees?
No, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So if there are no questions, we'll stop here. Thank you very much for joining. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Bhakta Vrinda ki